back to Virginia This Morning.
Icing, sprinkles, candy, the sky's the limit when it comes to the finishing touches for your cupcakes.
Well, local baker Dawn Schick thinks outside the box with this healthy, unique twist for a topper. Welcome back, Dawn. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hi, Dawn.
Congratulations on the 6 months with your business.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. All right, what are we going to be doing here today?
Well, today we were going to talk just a little about baking technique, and then also we were going to pipe and make some of these sunflower cupcakes.
Oh, those are pretty.
These are what we're doing for Mother's Day. In particular, we're doing a Mother's Day bouquet, and each one is filled with a chocolate-covered sunflower seed center, so it kind of gives more authenticity to the recipe. And so I'll just share with you a couple of tips first, if you'd like. I found in the last 6 months that it's really not just the recipe, it's knowing the technique that makes or breaks it. So a couple of things that I've learned are when working with your dairy products, such as your butter, eggs, milk, and if you happen to have sour cream in the recipe, it's very important that you bring them to proper temperature before incorporating them into the batter. They should be between 65 and 70 degrees before you start working with them. That allows you to incorporate the maximum amount of air into the batter, and that allows your leavening agent, like baking soda or baking powder, to then later create larger air pockets, which is what makes the cellular base of the cupcake build up so that it rises and you get that nice shape in the oven.
Tricks of the trade.
Yeah, we try to hurry our way through, but baking really is chemistry.
It
and
is.
Every step needs to do what it needs to do in order to get the finished product to be what we want it to be.
That's exactly right. It's exactly right. And so then once you get past the stage of working with your dairy products, which usually you start with your butter and your sugar, whipping it for 5 minutes, and then you incorporate your eggs. Then you're going to start including your dry ingredients. And the next step is always making sure that you're using a sifter to sift your dry ingredients, because you want to make sure, A, that there are no clumps in the batter, and B, you want to make sure your leavening agents and any seasonings that you're putting in are distributed throughout the batter equally. So that's the next thing that I've learned over the past few months.
Yeah, how could clumps actually ruin the cupcake?
Well, you could end up with like a dough ball, like of flour, or like if your leavening agent isn't equally distributed and it's one section, then some cakes arise and some won't. So it's very important that you take all of those steps very seriously and you scrape down your mixing bowl and your beater when you're working so that everything is incorporated together.
So when we saw our mother or grandmother sifting, they weren't just being meticulous, they were doing it for a reason.
Exactly. And then the last big thing I've learned is that once you put your cakes in the oven, it's really important not to disturb them for the first 15 minutes. Even if it's a recipe that only takes 20 minutes to cook, the leavening agents need that 15 minutes to do their work without being disturbed before you rotate the pan. So those are just a few tips of the trade.
And that's an important thing too, rotating the pans. Most of us just put it in there and leave it until the baking time is over.
Exactly, and I have never found an oven without a hot spot yet, so it's important to learn where those are so you can rotate your pans and keep your cupcakes from getting too well done on one side of the pan.
So you know a thing or two about cupcakes, because you bake about 1,100 a week?
Yes, that's pretty much the minimum that we bake, and if there's a special event going on in town or a holiday, then we ramp up from there. So, and I expect it'll continue to grow as we get busier. So.
And now you're hand decorating all of these in your shop. How long does it take you to do, say, one flower?
Doesn't take very long. Actually, we're going to do some here today, and you'll get to see it's pretty easy. I'm just going to move this out of the way. And
hopefully you can do it in less than a minute.
Okay. We'll do a quick sample. What we're going to do is you're going to start with your chocolate sunflower seeds, and I'll slide this over. And you just start off by sticking some of them into the middle of the cupcake. And I'm just going to put a few in for now because we're running short on time. And we'll look at our pretty finished ones later. And then each of you can have a piping bag as well if you would like to try one. But basically, you've got a little leaf tip, and if you think of it like a bird beak, you want that part to be up and down. And you just start from the center, squeeze, and pull out. And then you rotate your cupcake as you're making your petals, and you just keep coming around.
And one petal at a time.
Exactly.
So the key to making and baking is patience.
Yes.
Can't be quick on this. Dawn, thank you so much. You keep working.
Okay.